Good afternoon, good people. Today's Royal Afternoon Edition, the 2 p.m. news on 88.4 Royal FM. My name is MAPALAH ZITA. Our top stories. Alert on fraudsters. Minister Jules Ndongo of Forestry and Wildlife frowns at the presence of fake agents in his ministry. Cameroonians narrate their experiences.
Never been scammed by an agent working in the ministry, but I have had similar situations with friends, but not with agents working in the ministry, but in private industry and popular ones at that.
Niger's Junta General appoints former finance minister as Prime Minister of the Sahelian nation. Abel Bella Samari will be here to tell us more on that story. And in sport, the Under-20 Lions of Cameroon are back in the country with the trophy of the La Francophonie Games and are being received today at the Fecafoot headquarters here in Yaoundé. Those were our top stories. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay with us. Good afternoon. Once again, you're welcome to the 2 p.m. news on Royal FM. The Minister of Forestry and Wildlife, as you heard in one of our top stories, Minister Jules Ndongo has raised awareness on fake agents in his ministry and advised Cameroonians to beware of fraudsters. It has been noticed that some individuals deceive users of ministries by taking money and promising to quickly process their documents. On that note, our student journalist Glory Ngange went down the streets of Yaoundé to interview some Cameroonians on their experiences in document processing, and she compiled this report.
Most Cameroonians, in an attempt to have their documents done as soon as they want, have fallen into the hands of hungry fraudsters. This has led to the loss of huge amounts of money as well as frustration.
I have never fallen into the trap, but I have a friend who fell into that trap, and right now he is frustrated because he went and met a wrong person because he wanted to travel out. The guy explained to me that he lost 2 million to fix documents, and after they make and gave him but fake documents, and so he came back with a document that this is what he has and he wants to go. They said they are invalid.
As well, some Cameroonians say even though they have not been victims, close relatives have raised complaints.
Whenever I've gone to any ministry, I've not encountered such things, but I've received complaints from close relatives who said they met with fraudsters and they were scammed of the monies they had for the marché to go and meet so-so and so-so person. But on the personal note, I've never had such issues with any ministry.
To others, being aware of fraudsters, they prefer the long and safe procedure to avoid spending more or getting fake documents.
I have not experienced obtaining fake documents from ministries because I've always choose to go through the right procedure, though at times it's long, but it's always very safe and sure that at the end of the day you end up having the documents you need and they will be legally recognized. You just always have to exercise a little patience with the procedure in place and always follow up your documents to end it out.
As governments seek measures to eradicate fraudulent activities in ministries, Cameroonians are advised to remain vigilant.
1507 is the toll-free number made public by government for all citizens to use in case they are faced with scammers or fraudsters on mobile phones, and especially in the Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife. Just as you heard, Minister Jules Ndongo has urged all citizens to be alert in order not to fall in the trap of these scammers. Faced with such a situation, what does the law say? Freeway Crispin caught up with a legal mind and compiled this report.
Nelson Lambris begins by emphasizing that all services rendered in public services are naturally free of charge.
Each person who is supposed to render a service and the person is asking for money for that service to be rendered, it is considered as illegal extortion of money from the citizens of this country or maybe the users of the public service, which is punishable by our Cameroon Penal Code.
Moreover, the legal mind adds that each civilian who happens to pay for services in ministries and other public institutions could also be held accountable.
If you actually need to get a service in the public service and you feel that you want to go buy it and you go behind the doors to get that service at your disposal, you yourself, you're a fraudulent person. At the end of the day, the two people that are actually involved in this type of situation are supposed to be punished accordingly. So at the end of the day, there is no victim nor a vanquished.
This is therefore an alarm to every Cameroonian whenever they come across such scammers, or call this toll-free number 1507 to report any scam case.
Fringwe Crispin, in that report, we stay with the advent of technology to mankind, which has permitted many to express their genuineness through the fabrication of electronic gadgets such as televisions, computers, decoders, and phones. The innovation has thus granted chance to others to develop applications that will ease the usage of the above mentioned. But now, some applications have been of more harm than good to many ignorant users who in the return bow at their mercy. To better understand how these tools operate, Eratus Nduwe caught up with a high-tech expert who explains the dangers of the application called Phoenix, incorporated in some phones, and the possible solutions. He now reports.
Phoenix is a software application which is incorporated in phones and in others downloadable with the sole aim of acting as a research hub which permits inbuilt applications such as WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube and what have you. But instead of limiting itself at that, Anog Nelson, an high-tech expert, reveals that Phoenix is a mixed blessing to mankind whose modus operandi differs in sending corrupt links to users and
the Phoenix software will create software that will allow it to drop on the phones to install automatically even when the user deactivates it. So its role is to record geographical coordinates, it record voice, writing and video conversation, and it memorizes your passwords and your browsing history. After collecting its information, it will sell to hackers since it is open source.
Thus, the right to privacy of information has been breached by this application, who does more to just invading privacy, but also double as a double facade.
This software is mixed by the fact that we can believe that it gives the information. It is the software that facilitates Facebook account hacks. It is designed and integrated on Techno's phones and many others not been installed.
As the euphoria of embracing innovative technology continues to scale high in this era, the expert recommends that the government should adopt repressive measures to curb the phenomenon.
Phone is the China's silent weapon. Our government should ban the use of Techno's phones. A phone that has this software must avoid very restrictive video, otherwise these videos will be automatically uploaded.
A word, however, to a wise is sufficient.
Eratus Nduwe in that report. The Minister of Decentralization and Local Development, Georges Elanga Obam, says the government of Cameroon is committed to promoting the African Charter of Values and Principles of Decentralization, Local Governance and Local Development, reiterating that the strides are being made to digitalize and modernize civil status registration in the country. He made the declaration in Yaoundé ahead of the African Decentralization Day and the Africa Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Day to be celebrated on Thursday, August the 15th. Here now is an excerpt of Minister Georges Elanga's declaration in relation to the African Decentralization Day. We got the excerpt courtesy State Media.
For this 12th African Decentralization and Local Development Day, the African Union invites member states to discuss the contribution of African subnational and local governments in the making of the African Continental Free Trade Area. This sounds like an appeal to regional and local authorities for them to contribute to the continent's integration to boost intra-African trade by eliminating tariff barriers. This involves creating an environment for developing a local economic fabric capable of producing and selling worldwide. We need to focus on Africa and take advantage of the trade opportunities available on the continent. Fortunately, the conditions exist in Cameroon for synergy to thrive between the central state, local authorities, and the private sector to develop local production units.
We stay in the ministries this time around to say that Cameroon's Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Celestine Kecha-Cortes, has lobbied for Egyptian and Moroccan expertise as well as technical support for social housing and to develop unsafe areas in Cameroon. But the question is, do Cameroonians still believe in social housing concept? Our journalism intern Anne Ngwa went finding and now reports.
Cameroonians we came across share different opinions in view of the social housing in the country as they stress out.
The process to get the houses, first of all, there are a lot of bureaucratic bottlenecks. That is to go from one step to another.
It helps low-income earners and also help people that are only getting recruited into government for the first time, that their salaries are not yet out, to be staying inside for some time.
According to Damian, he believes the purpose of building these lodging facilities has already been violated by the government as they give out these houses on contract to private individuals, as he says.
Well, the point is the purpose of the cities have already been violated from the very first instance. Reason being that the cities now, they are more of a contractual something. The purpose was first for people who cannot afford the house to be able to pay for it. But right now, that's not what is going on. Rather, the cities are being used by people who are actually wealthy, and they are using it to bulldoze on the people who cannot afford for it to get it.
Others, like Lanaka Valerie, goes further by proposing ways through which the government can make these lodging houses regain its attractiveness in the face of the general public.
The government should set a good monitoring and evaluating committee that will actually go out and check on these things and check on these houses where are the poor, the ones actually paying in for the houses. And then another thing is maintenance.
That sound ending the report from Anne Ngwa. And still to come in this newscast, private primary school teachers begin meeting in Yaoundé today in their 18th edition of the National Commission of Basic Primary Education in Cameroon. Just what do parents think of private primary school teachers?
Teachers in the private sector are more focused and more observant because there are fewer students and it's easier for them to get the attention of all the students. They create a more sincere connection with all the students and it makes teaching and learning easier.
If you're just tuning in, you're listening to the 2 p.m. news on 88.4 Royal FM and watching us live on Facebook at Royal FM Cameroon. We talk politics as the clock to the next presidential and legislative elections continue to tick down. Some political parties in the country have in recent time seen their bureaus restructured. But what could be the cause of these changes? Our reporter Evans Williams Njobati corners a politician in the person of Honorable Kopit Adamu and put forth this report.
Receiving the politician from the party, Cameroon Democratic Union's party, on phone, he detailed out some of the new appointments that have succeeded the party recently.
CDU have changed its leadership during the last national convention. We have a new national president in CDU, and we done it according to our basic text, done in by considering our objective on the field, the challenge we have, and we think we have the best choice. Until now, we are satisfied for our choice.
Honorable Kopit Adamu, who is one of those raised to the political bureau of the party, as he gives more lectures on the reason to these sudden changes.
The motivation of this change is to reinforce the capacity of the party to go from success to success in the field. So we have no fear. We are very sure that we are in the right direction. The party is very well ruled at this moment, and we are sure that election in our country, CDU, we come all out with very strong performances.
In addition, the UDC militant makes us to understand that it will permit the party gain higher grounds in the next elections, be it municipal, legislative or presidential election, as he states.
The last decision concerning the leadership in our party is the appointment of member of political bureau, and that decision, which was took by our national president, is in conformity, perfect conformity with our constitution, the test of the basic test of our party. We are well organized and we
have the right person at the right place at the right moment, and we think we will go further for success.
As a reminder, it is not just the UDC party that has experienced this change, but also the Bloc for Reconciliation and Economic Independence in Cameroon BRIC party.
Away from politics into education, private primary school teachers have converged at the Yaoundé Conference Center today for the 18th edition of the National Commission for Basic Private Education, which is unfolding under the theme Teaching in the Basic Education Sector, the Link of Performance and Efficiency, Advocacy for a New Quality Investment. Deliberations are chaired by the Minister of Basic Education, Laurent Serge Etundi Ngoa. The meeting quotes on the amelioration of the conditions of teachers in the private sector and their salary problems due to the challenges they face in recent times. Over the years, the government has sought to diversify the financial, pedagogic, and administrative assistance to private teachers. Our student journalist Mendomo Erica interviewed some parents in Yaoundé on what they think about private primary school teachers and brought out their views in this report.
Private schools offers education to about 30% of children in Cameroon. They occupy an important place in Cameroon's educational system. Parents have noticed the growing rate of the private sector in our nation and the advantages it comes with. This is the case of Marie, who tells us how she likes the private system of education.
Teachers from the primary or private sector are very efficient. Even though they are paid very low, the teachers are very efficient. They know what to say, they know what to convince the children, because nowadays the teacher is stable.
Michelle goes in the same direction with Marie and supports the system due to the following reasons.
Teachers in the private sector are more focused and more observant because there are fewer students, and it's easier for them to get the attention of all the students. They create a more sincere connection with all the students, and it makes teaching and learning easier.
Peter also gives the reasons why he agrees to this educational system.
These are people who actually engage, they have their time, they engage in teaching children. Another advantage that we have with regards to them is they actually are working in an environment where supervision is serious. They actually follow up to make sure that teaching is effective. The second, there is a kind of flexibility when it comes to the relationship between them and the school authority.
Many parents seem satisfied with this system of education and find no inconvenience for the moment. Hope that their multiple challenges are quickly resolved. School resumption is in a few weeks.
And today, August the 8th, is being celebrated worldwide as International Cat Day. It is an annual observance celebrated with great fervor and enthusiasm by cat lovers. Cats are mostly adopted by humans as pets, while others consider them food. But what do Cameroonians think about cats? Get some of them speak in this Vox Pop.
I prefer keeping a cat as a pet because cats are harmless creatures. They don't disturb and they don't look for problems, unlike all those dogs and other things. I cannot advise people that eat them because to me it's not good.
Having a cat as a pet is a capital no for me because I fear that they will urinate and their excrements just be everywhere because cats, they climb on chairs, on the bed. In fact, they are everywhere.
I do not really like keeping cats as pets, but on the other hand, I like eating them, especially when it is well prepared, tastes nice.
Cats also help to keep away rats from the house, which cause havoc, like they eat our important documents. In fact, cats are very, very cute and adorable animals that everybody should keep.
Let us take you into our society to look into the lives of couples, and we talk cheating, which is also known as infidelity, and it is when a person in a monogamous romantic relationship has an emotional relationship with someone else without their partner's consent. The phenomenon of cheating in our society has become the order of the day, where couples and people see it to be a norm. Now, people react differently when faced with a cheating partner. Our student journalist, Awasiri Darwin, interviewed some Yaoundé city dwellers on this topic and compiled the following Vox Pop.
To me, if I discover that my partner is cheating, I will feel very bad, considering the fact that I'm able to take care of her the way I can. If my partner go extra mile in going out to look for whatsoever that, to me, I wouldn't condone such, because I believe that I'm able to give my partner all that he needs. So I can't bear the shame of seeing her going out looking elsewhere.
Why will he cheat on you and then you discover? He should cheat and hide it. If you can discover it, that means he's not man enough. That means there are some certain things that he cannot handle. It's true that you cannot control a man. So when he cheats like that, he should make sure that he plays his cards well in a way that you cannot find out. If you can find out, then he's not man enough to me. So if my partner cheats on me, I discover
my partner cannot just get up and start cheating like that. It means probably I failed in one domain. So I want to first find out where did I fail. And if she doesn't give me a reasonable domain or something that I really see that yes, I failed in this domain, then I'll move me on.
Out of Cameroon, UN appeal judges have ordered that Rwandan genocide suspect Felicien Kabuga be urgently considered for release and that the war crime trials against him be indefinitely suspended. Let us welcome Abel Bella Samaria, Director of Informations here at Royal FM, as we talk the Niger coup d'etat. Good afternoon, Abel.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, MAPALAH ZITA.
Abel, a senior U.S. official has held one-on-one talks with Niger's military leader following last month's coup. What is the outcome of this meeting?
Yeah, very correct. MAPALAH ZITA, Acting Deputy Secretary of State Victoria Nuland, who met with the military junta, said the conversation had been extremely frank and at times quite difficult. In a statement, Washington said the coup can still be ended diplomatically and President Muhammadu Bazoum reinstated but has suspended aid payment in the meantime. West African countries are set to meet on Thursday to discuss the crisis. ECOWAS, a trading bloc of 15 West African states, had issued a 23-hour GMT Sunday deadline to the Niger junta leader to step down and to restore the elected president. The coup leader responded to a threat of military action from the bloc by closing the Niger airspace.
Abel, Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu is facing a huge backlash at home over his threat to use military forces to reverse the coup in next-door Niger.
MAPALAH ZITA, this is where the bone of contention lies. Local media reports that there was a strong opposition to military intervention at a session of the upper chamber of parliament. The Senate on Saturday, despite the fact that it is controlled by Mr. Tinubu's party, this was especially the case amongst lawmakers representing the state along the more than 1,500 long border with Niger. But there has also been countrywide condemnation of the possibility of a war. West African Regional Bloc ECOWAS has set deadline for Sunday for the junta to give up power and face possible military action. The decision was very much seen as Mr. Tinubu's as the ECOWAS current chairman, and Nigeria is almost influenced a member when it comes to this organization. Although the junta has defied the ultimatum, ECOWAS has not responded by immediate action. A deadline was given to by ECOWAS to the Nigerian military junta to reinstate the outing of the President Muhammadu Bazoum. But we caught up with Michel Amwazu, who is from the London School of Economy. We wanted to find out from him via our WhatsApp page why the military intervention in Niger. Is it an option? Take a listen to what he has to say.
There will be no boots on the ground. The military intervention option is actually off the table as we speak. The Nigerian Senate decided they were not going to authorize the president to use Nigerian troops to go and fight a fellow African country, Niger. And at the moment, the only other country left, well, as we speak, all the countries bordering Niger are not going to be part of any intervention. So the only country left is Benin, where you can invade Niger. But obviously, as Nigerian troops will not be part of the troop contributing countries, you're left with maybe Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire and a few others. And they will not have enough to invade Niger. So really, realistically speaking, the military intervention option is actually off the table. And the junta is not going to be releasing the deposed President Bazoum either. If we use Guinea as an example, Alpha Conde was not released to go out of the country until after 7 months, when he had to go to Abu Dhabi for medical treatment. So they're going to keep Bazoum as a bargaining chip and then just get on with governing the country.
African analyst Hannah Ajala Ramaha, talking to the TRT World Television about the coup in Niger, wanted to know why Mali has a lot of interest.
I think it's just the materials. The materials is one thing that makes Niger quite an attractive country when it comes to exporting. For example, uranium is a really popular tool that's used for energy in countries such as Russia and other European countries as well. So there's almost that fear that because of this coup, that means that this relationship will eventually become tainted, and the reliance that they have on this country in the continent will be close to zero if the coup was to fully overtake the president.
Before you go, Abel, Niger's Junta General Abdurrahman Chiani has named a former finance minister as the new prime minister.
He is called Ali Mohamed Lamin Zien. He replaces Mohamedou Modu, who was currently in Europe while the coup took place. Mr. Zeni reported to be in his 50s, served as cabinet director and finance minister from 2001 until the overthrow of the late former president Mamadou Tanja by the army in 2010.
Time for us to talk sports. Rangers FC of the Northwest region have begun the process of finding new players for the upcoming football session in Cameroon, while Cameroon Cup finalist PWD of Bamenda will be concluding the recruitment process in the days ahead. Biwa Brian with more details.
Ahead of the new football season in Cameroon, some Northwest elite clubs have geared up preparations for the season. Elite 2 Rangers FC, who completed their previous season at fifth position, have opened recruitment to reinforce the team. According to a release published by Neba Jerome, team press officer of Rangers FC, the recruitment will begin on Thursday, August 10th, and is only open to players who were invited by the team. Let's listen to a regional league player who has been shortlisted for the recruitment.
My name is Sanjay Emmanuel, and being called up by an elite 2 team for a recruitment, it really shows some level of improvement, some level of maturity in my game. It really shows I had a great season, and I'm so excited to be among those shortlisted for this recruitment, and I'm so prepared. I'm well prepared to be an elite player by next season by God's grace. And I've been putting in maximum effort individually, getting advice from experienced players, how to go about it, and I believe.
And after putting up a good fight in Kinshasa, the under-20 Lions are back home with the trophy as gold medalists at the La Francophonie Games. Biwa Brian with details.
The under-20 Lions team were received by Fecafoot's president Samuel Eto'o at the federation's headquarters in Chinga today. A day after they arrived, the just ended Francophonie Games in DR Congo. They could not keep their joy without presenting the